Hey guys, it's your boy M.K.S here. Hope everyone's well. I'm back here with another video, of course. Just for a bit of fun, I thought I'd talk about some of the football teams I love of sport. For now, I'm going to talk about just the club teams that I support, not necessarily the national teams. I like to do well, but I'm a bit unique, or some might say special, if you want, weird or strange or whatever term you prefer, in terms of like, I love all the Italian teams. So I suppose most people who sport most people would support one club team. Like if they support Inter Milan, they probably dislike or even hate AC Milan, or vice versa. And Italian teams don't always get on well with each other. Normally that's the same in most leagues, but I sort of I don't really care who wins domestically in Italy. I just care who wins. Like I just want to see the Italian league become the most financially most successful in terms of trophies, and become the most successful league, and whether that takes finances or whatever it takes to help Italian football to become the number one like it used to be a long time ago. So sorry, God, running nose again. Always seems to happen when I'm making videos. Anyway, so yeah, just for a bit of fun, I thought I'd talk about some of the teams I support. Like a long time ago, when I was really young, I used to support Liverpool, and I think I used to like the name, but then I started supporting Italian football teams. So then I didn't really support Liverpool after that. But yeah, I think some people accuse me of like not being very loyal, but I just have a strange way of supporting teams. Like I say, most football fans support a team within sort of support one team within a league or whatever, and I support all the Italian teams. And another thing is, I would support all the Eurasian, all teams from Eurasian nations or transcontinental countries generally, especially Eurasian nations, and also Mid-East and other Mediterranean nations as well, but especially Italy. But the thing is, most of those teams from Eurasian or transcontinental or Mid-Eastern, or even many Mediterranean nations, like some of the Arab nations, don't have really that good teams, so they can't really compete at that level. And that's why, although I'd love to see those teams do well, like from Egypt, which is, I think, transcontinental between Africa and Asia, Italian teams have a chance of becoming the most successful. I suppose Spanish football is in terms of club teams, are the most successful, I think. But I suppose because I started supporting Italy first, that's why I love to see Italian teams. Although I'd love to see like French and other Mediterranean, like Spanish and Portuguese teams do well, or even like Malta, for instance. But because the Maltese league is so small and the country is like small, they can't really compete. So like it's not really much point in supporting like Maltese teams if they're not playing in those big international games. And I think many people in Malta actually support Italian clubs because it's like the nearest place to Malta that does well. Which is probably closer to them than Spain, I believe so. But yeah, so there's some of the teams. So basically, I love all the Italian teams, and I would support, as I say, Eurasian teams from Eurasian transcontinental countries generally, the Mid-East and the Mediterranean. But again, many of them don't necessarily have great teams. But my main teams that I support are Italian. And another team I love to see do well, I kind of like Chelsea because they've got an Italian connection or Mediterranean connection. Like many of their players have come from Spain, or one or two from Portugal, and also like from France as well. So because of that Mediterranean connection, especially Italian, like they have players like Vialli, Di Matteo, and Zola. Well, there's only three of them, but I think they've had a few others since then. But and also like the managers and all that being Italian. So and I suppose I like to see my local team, Leicester, do well. But I know that's another strange sort of quirk because excuse me, Leicester normally don't get on well with Chelsea. But I sort of like Chelsea because of the Italian connection or Mediterranean connection. And as I mentioned a few times, I'm also a big fan of Celtic. And especially domestically, like it's probably in a way kind of opposite to how I don't really care which team wins in Italy as long as they win overseas when they play non-Italian teams. It's almost the opposite of Celtic in a way. I'd like to see them do well domestically because, excuse me, I can't really see them do well in terms of winning trophies in the Champions League or even the Europa League. So I think the level's not really good enough in Scotland to help them to do that. So because of the finances and the fact they're not challenged much in the league, I can't see them winning much. I can't see us winning much, I'll say, as a fan, outside of Scotland. That's why I think, because of playing many European games might mean that we, I'll say again as a fan, sort of don't have, can't concentrate as much domestically. And I think because that, if it risks getting more trophies like 10 in a row, things like that, which many Celtic fans talk about, or most, or pretty much all Celtic fans talk about, so Europe might get in the way a little bit of winning those domestic trophies, which is what football is all about, really, in my opinion, winning those trophies. So anyway, I thought I'd just do a fun video. Sorry I hope it wasn't too cringeworthy. I know I probably did like stumble or stutter off or whatever. So, but I'd love to know what you think, as ever. And even if you think it sucked, please let me if you have to be harsh. But yeah, constructive criticism, feedback, or whatever. Always welcome, and even, or obviously much more third, sharing the love instead would be better. But anywho, yeah, so maybe I'll do a list once I've gone to sleep and woken up, so I can plan it out a bit more. But I might do a list of my 30 most 30 favorite sports teams or football teams, because football is my main sport. Yeah, I think that covers everything, and I'm going to stop waffling. And as ever, I'd love to know what you think, or any questions, queries, comments, or anything you want to post. Please don't hold back your feedback. And I'm out. Peace and love.